Over the past few days, I've gotten a lot of people telling me to check out this article from Vanity Fair called Justice League: The Shocking, Exhilarating, Heartbreaking True Story of the Snyder Cut. Now, if you know anything about me, you'll know that I'm very, very excited about the Snyder Cut. All of us are excited about it, but I've been like a huge fan of this movement since the very start, since I walked out of the theaters in 2017, having watched the theatrical cut of Justice League. And I remember in 2019, in November, when the hashtag release the Snyder Cut was trending around the world, I wrote an article about the Snyder Cut on greatwhiteco.com. It was actually one of our first big articles that did really well, really, really well. And when I wrote it, I remember thinking like, man, it sucks that we're never gonna see this. Like it was like, in 10 years we're gonna see a documentary with someone sitting down with Zack Snyder and being like, hey, like this is what I meant to shoot and this is what the movie was gonna be about. But I was like very certain that we were not gonna see this movie. And then in 4 months later, after I wrote that, we got the announcement that it was real and it was coming to HBO Max, and here we are, less than a month away now from the actual event. And this article apparently is a really good read from Vanity Fair, and I would highly recommend that you actually read it yourself as well. I'm gonna purposefully not read all of it because I feel like I want to give them some ad clicks, ad views, or whatever. They're the ones doing the hard work here. I'm also out of breath because I've been holding my breath for this entire intro. Jeez. Oh, okay. There it is. Now we're good. Yeah, we're gonna read through this. You guys have not. I don't think you guys have even heard about this, right?
No, I don't know what the hell we're about to read.
No, I haven't
Okay.
heard about
I
this.
don't know what's in here, but I've been linked this several times and I've been told to read it, so I feel like it's a good time. So, the article's by Anthony Resnikin. I am so sorry. um, Justice League: The Shocking, Exhilarating, Heartbreaking True Story of Snyder Cut. Zack Snyder, the director of Justice League, has never seen Justice League. His name's in the credits as the filmmaker, but he's never sat through the version released to the world 3 years ago. His wife Deborah, who produced the movie, advised him not to. In late 2017, months after the couple cut ties with the superhero epic amid an increasingly demoralizing battle with Warner Brothers, Deborah Snyder sat in the screening room with the studio on the studio lot alongside Christopher Nolan, one of the movie's executive producers. That was the director of the Dark Knight trilogy. First of all, I would love to just be like, oh yeah, I was sitting in the theater next to Christopher Nolan.
Yeah, so I was sitting on the Warner Brothers
Um,
studio lot with
Embrace
Nolan.
yourself as the lights went down. It was me. It's a weird experience, she says now. I don't know how many. Okay. Listen to my voice.
Do you want me to read it or something?
No, I can read it. I'm just.
Okay. Don't hurt yourself.
There it is.
Yeah, you're really struggling.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't know what that was about. Like, I
One of
think it
us
was.
can take over for if we can each alternate paragraphs or something like in school.
Where popcorn read is what you're saying.
Mm-hmm.
No, it was just that intro. For some reason, I just got like out of. Like, I wasn't out of breath. I just didn't breathe for some reason.
You
And
got
like,
that COVID?
it was one of no, it was one of those things where like I was into it and I was like, oh man, I'm not breathing, and the only I
No,
could
I
have
do that
either
sometimes in my outros of
and I
videos.
could have either like stopped and taken a deep breath or like
Battled
held
through.
it for longer, and I was like, I'll buckle
Mm-hmm.
down, I can do this.
Yeah, I do that in
It
outros of my videos sometimes.
was just it's a weird experience. She says now, I don't know how many people have that experience. You've worked on something for a long time and then you leave and then you see what happened to it. What happened to Justice League was a crisis of infinite doubt. A team of executives who lost faith in the architect of their faltering comic book movie empire, and a director in the midst of a family's tragedy sapped him of the will to fight. Joss Whedon, a director from another universe, the Marvel Cinematic one, left the Avengers after two movies and crossed over to comics rival DC, picking up Justice League not where Snyder left off, but remaking it significantly, extensive rewrites and hurried reshoots, just as the studio demanded. This is all stuff that I've covered in when I wrote this stuff
Mm-hmm.
in back in 20,
Yeah.
back in 2019. But this is like no, this is
Mhm.
like I think high level stuff. They're kind of introducing it. Let's see. I don't want to read all of it, so I'm gonna skip that. Oh, it's what's going on with her eyes here?
What do you mean?
They look like her eyes are just like way too like they're like pitch black.
They're like the
Oh, it's
she's
just black and white. She has very dark colored eyes.
yeah.
Oh no, that's the thing. Look, this is black and white, obviously. Like this is matte
Mhm.
black. This is like pitch black.
That's
That
fair. Yeah, they are like darker than the background.
right. Publicly, everyone else in the movie practiced smiles and rehearsed their talking points in the hopes of doing no further damage to the project. Not that it helped much. The movie earned $657 million globally, which sounds like a lot of money until you consider the nearly $300 million budget, including the reported $25 million for Whedon's reworking, plus a conservative amount of $100 million to $150 million in marketing costs. Factoring the sizable cut theaters taken from the box office, and a return of only 657 million is a clear money loser. 6 months later, Justice League's box office was dwarfed by Marvel's own all-star showcase, Avengers: Infinity War, flex its muscles at $2 billion.
Pocket change.
Hey,
Insane.
sorry to interrupt you, but there was more news that came out from Final Fantasy.
Oh, nice.
Mhm.
They're also presenting 2 new mobile games.
Ooh,
Oh,
Uh, Final Fantasy VII: The First Soldier, a battle royale game set in Midgard before the events of Final Fantasy VII. As a soldier candidate, make full use of your abilities in your battle for survival. And there's also a teaser on their Twitter.
huh.
nice.
Interesting.
So there is more news that was outside of the state of play.
Weird.
That's cool.
After that private screening of the Whedon cut, Nolan and Deborah Snyder emerged into the light with a shared mission. They came and they said, "You can never see that movie." Zack Snyder says during the lunch at his Pasadena office, a modernist series of cubes jetting from a hillside that overlooks the Rose Bowl. First of all, what's his name? Author's name again? Anthony.
Anthony.
You're a fantastic writer. This is like I feel like I'm reading a novel. Um,
So, yeah.
I guess that's what you need to do if you want to write for Vanity Fair. But
Mhm.
Rose Bowl, because I knew it would break his heart. His wife adds. That
That's
might
fair.
seem overly dramatic. It's just show business after all. But the Snyder's hearts had already been through a lot. The battle over Justice League was agonizing, but it wasn't the worst thing to happen to their family that year. Not even close. Professionally, at least, things have worked out. Blah blah blah. This is talking about the Snyder Cut movement.
Mhm.
It's not uncommon for directors to lose creative control of big budget studio spectacles, or for other filmmakers to step in, but it's unheard of for a studio to return to an exiled filmmaker and offer back the power and creative freedom it was yanked away, especially when it comes to the most beloved and lucrative characters in pop culture history was involved. The Snyder Cut is coming on March 15th. Yeah,
Woo!
very excited.
I hope it comes out early that day, or else I'm not gonna be able to watch it till the Monday after, and I'm gonna be so upset.
Yeah, me and Suri will have to watch it together
Yeah,
then,
Mhm.
since he won't have you as his movie buddy.
I'm down with that. I'm gonna put it up on my big screen, dude. I'm gonna one sitting. Austin, like remember we talked about it? No pause. You can't pause.
Yeah, yeah.
No
I
pause.
was over my brother's house and he was like, his wife was like, 4.5 hours. I hope you don't have to go to the bathroom. I was like, yeah, it'd be a real shame if I have to pause it.
Can't pause.
No,
It's the movie
not
experience.
allowed.
The
See, this is why
directors,
American movies need intermissions.
nah, we're fine. Um, the director's devotees. It's the Hollywood ending of a Hollywood ending for a Hollywood story, but for the truly devastating thing that happened to Zack Snyder and his loved ones in 2017, can be no fix, no do-over. In the throes of the conflict with Warner Brothers, the Snyder's 20-year-old daughter, home from college in the middle of a long struggle with depression, took her own life. After 2 years spent largely focused on their other children and extended family, Zach and Deborah went back to work, a difficult but vital part of the healing process. When they spoke to Vanity Fair for the story, they're completing Army of the Dead, a zombie-filled heist extravaganza that will launch a new multi-pronged franchise for Netflix. The
Oh,
trailer
I
for
didn't
that.
know that.
Yeah, they actually already. So the teaser for this came out today, as of when
Yeah,
we're recording,
I'm editing the reaction.
and they also already recorded the prequel show that goes along,
Oh, yeah, nice. I didn't know
as well
that.
as restoring Zack's original version for Justice League. The latter will be a 4-hour event on HBO Max that will raise money for suicide prevention programs that could help spare others from the grief that shook his family. It's
Oh, so the movie itself is all the money from it's gonna go to.
I don't, is that what that's saying? I'm not sure.
Oh, that's here. Wait.
Because the
So Zach's
promo,
original
the
Ladder will
promo
be a
stuff is,
4-hour event for HBO Max that will raise money for suicide prevention.
yeah, but I'm saying like, is it like
Mm,
the promo, like the merch and stuff? Because that I know he like does. Like
yeah,
if you buy the merch, it goes.
yeah.
What is it? ASPA or something? ASPF.
ASPCA is an animal one.
I think it's Americans.
That's Animal Rescue or
I don't know.
Animal Rescue.
Anyway, it's such a lightning strike in the center of the whole saga. Snyder says of his daughter's Autumn's death. It has informed everything we've done since. Daughter's death was the reason the Snyders walked away from Justice League, realizing their fight and spirit was needed at home with their children and with each other, rather than a losing battle with a powerful studio. Now she's the main reason he decided to come back. At the end of the movie, it says "For Autumn." Snyder says, sitting in the shadows of a darkened editing suite, frames from this movie frozen in the screens behind him. When he talks about his daughter, the otherwise scrappy and I don't know how to say that word, ebullient 55-year-old filmmaker always looks away. Without her, this absolutely would not have happened.
Wait, so right now, does the theatrical cut say for autumn,
Yes.
or will this cut?
No, not the theatrical cut. This the one that he's working on now.
The Snyder cut.
His
Okay,
version.
that's what I was asking.
I don't think we saw this image before, have we? Weird
Not the one on the right. Looks
Jesus
different.
pose that he's doing right
The
now.
one on the
Yeah,
right definitely
it looks like it's
new.
from one of his cult music group gatherings.
Interesting. He didn't has the. Is there a name
Like
for that? Or
a
just a
barbed
crown of
wire
thorns?
crown. Yeah, that's
Uh,
very Jesus.
Oh no, for sure. I just don't know if there's like a real.
There's
Yeah, I'm
probably
sure.
something.
Uh,
I'm positive.
I'm trying to make sure. I'm just kind of skimming ahead, so I'm
How
not.
long is this? Yeah.
Well, I mean, he's only about a third or
Yeah,
so of the
yeah,
I
that's
see
what I'm
your
way.
saying.
little scroll bar. Oh
Yeah.
wow.
So this is a novel.
Oh yeah,
Mm.
for sure. Zach and his then wife, Denise Weber, adopted Autumn when she was 1, a little over 1. He says, smiling at the memory of her wild energy. Still an infant but crazy. Autumn, slightly older than the couple's son Eli. They had 2 more children before they divorced. Snyder had 2 sons with line producer Kristen Ellen before marrying Deborah, his longtime producing partner, in 2004, with whom he adopted 2 more children. Filmmaker has
He has a lot of kids.
Yeah, filmmaker has often said being an adoptive father is one of the reasons he was so invested in the story of Kal-El, a powerful being who became a Superman thanks to the love and care of Jonathan and Martha Kent. Oh wow, that
Mm.
makes a lot of sense.
That does make sense.
Because like that's what like yeah, Jonathan and
That's
Martha
the
are
like.
like
Mhm.
foster parents or not foster parents,
Well, the
adoptive
adopted
parents.
parents. Yeah.
More than 3 years after Autumn's death, Snyder still slips between the past and present tense when talking about her. She's the only dork, he says of the family. He was the only fan. The rest of them, he shrugs. Today, Eli is interested in filmmaking, but Autumn was the only one of his children who matched her dad's kid-like enthusiasm for gods, monsters, aliens, and superheroes. She's super creative, he says. She was a writer. She was at Sarah Lawrence to be a writer.
Mm.
Snyder swipes through his phone to show a selfie of Autumn, took in the Letterman jacket worn by Ray Fisher's character in Justice League. A football star, horrendously wounded in a car accident, rebuilt by a scientist father into the half-robot warrior, Cyborg.
You're pausing and so weird as you read these sentences. I just want you to know.
It's because he's trying to figure out how to breathe because he fucked up
I know
earlier.
he's forgotten how to breathe. He's
That's
manual
exactly what it
breathing
is.
now, and he can't do it. He
I'm
paused at
glad,
like the weirdest
I'm glad
moment.
Austin understands me here. I'm glad he's put
I
together the puzzle.
understood. I just wanted to make fun of you.
No, you didn't. You clearly did not. Don't try to pretend.
Mm-hmm.
I believe you, Alexa.
Thanks.
See, this is how you play both sides, so you always come out.
I see what it is. I see what's going on here.
Smart, smart.
Autumn had been in therapy and on medications, but the depression remained brutal. What a wild whiplash of a change of had there,
Well, I
in
mean,
tone.
I think it's trying to do it, like, to show what the impact felt like for them.
What? No, I'm talking about what we on like we just had. Like we were just talked about me not breathing and
Oh.
joked around and then just
Oh, I thought you
whiplash
meant
back into
the
this
writing, yeah.
reality. Autumn, the depression remained brutal. She was always wondering about her worth. What is my worth? What am I supposed to do? What am I about? Snyder stumbles in his words, his eyes glassy. The conversation was like, of course, amazing. Uh, what do you mean you're worth? You're worth more than anything in the world. And she would just be like, yeah. Snyder says Autumn used writing to vent her pain, to channel into words that might contain it or explain it. She adored sci-fi. Her main characters were always in this battle with things from another dimension that no one can see, says Snyder. She's a serious, but it's a serious war, and that war was happening to her every day. I think so many people are in that battle, and they smile and nod at you. The fact that the studio had lost faith in Snyder's ability to make Justice League seemed mundane and pointless after Autumn's death. It's such a lightning strike in the center of the whole saga. In a lot of ways, it formed everything we've done since. The quote from earlier, I just they
Mhm.
put it up top.
Agree with it, yeah.
The
It's a good
Snyder's
quote,
tried
good
to
quote.
what?
It's a good quote.
No, the Snyder's tried to keep going for 2 months after Autumn's death, finding solace in finishing Justice League. But by then, the situation with Warner Brothers had imploded. The official story was that the Snyders were voluntarily leaving the movie due to their family tragedy, and that Zack had handpicked Whedon to complete the movie he had planned. Only half of that was true. Guessing.
Why lie about that?
I have a good. Well, it's probably so that people don't like riot against Joss Whedon. I'm guessing that's what. I'm guessing that's the
Didn't
false
work
part.
out.
So this is what I was gonna say before
Yeah.
is that like it makes so much sense for Zack Snyder to just do whatever it takes to finish his movie,
Uh-huh.
even if that means losing money, which I'm sure he
Mhm.
is losing money because I can't imagine in a world and where he's a director not getting paid and his wife who's the producer.
Yep.
Mhm.
I can't imagine that there's no way that they're not losing money from it.
Yeah.
Just
Oh yeah, for
logically.
sure.
Mhm.
Um, but like, why wouldn't you want to do that? Because this clears you. Like, regardless of what happened with the one before, his name's still on that movie. Joss
Yeah.
Whedon, like, is it was his creation, but it's still Zack Snyder's fault. Everything's Zack Snyder's fault. So why wouldn't you want to
Mhm.
do whatever it takes to put your movie out there and actually show no, this wasn't what I wanted at all.
Mhm.
This was all
I
Joss Whedon. My name was just attached to it.
Yeah, I couldn't imagine there being, like, a movie with my name on it, like, saying a film by me that I hadn't even seen, and I didn't even know what was in it. Like, you know what I mean? That would just be insane.
Yeah.
Right. The cover of the movie, if you own it says Zack Snyder.
Yep.
It
Yeah, and at the
opens by
beginning of the film,
saying
it says
a
a
Zack
film by
Snyder film.
yeah,
Yeah.
whichever one
And
it
then
is.
in the credits it says Zack Snyder as well.
But like
Yeah.
also that like I remember. You want to talk about disappointment, right? I
Mhm.
remember when I sat down. So actually, it was I'm trying to think. When did you guys know? I think Thor came out. Ragnarok came out like a month before Justice League came out, and I remember watching Thor, and I was like, "Oh, this is so." Thor Ragnarok is a fantastic movie, you know.
Yeah, it is.
And I was like, "Oh, this
Came
is
out November
fantastic.
3rd, 2017.
It's so awesome." And I went to see Justice League, and I have never felt so just like demoralized
Mm.
faster than when I started. The movie literally started, and you see the worst CG mustache that the stupidest like the opening of Justice League, the theatrical
It's
cut,
bad.
the stupidest opening I've ever seen to him. And it's the fact that they included this and they knew the CG was bad. Like no one looked at that CG and went, yeah, they'll believe this one for sure. Like you're not gonna pull a fast one on them. Like this, like this, it was so blatant. Um,
Yeah.
and I immediately went, yeah,
They
all
had a
right,
lot of bad mustache CGI on Cavill in that film because of the reshoots he had his Mission Impossible stash.
yep, exactly.
If anyone listening doesn't know.
Yeah,
Um, So they had to CGI it out for all the reshoots, which was like majority of the movie, and it looks bad.
Well, I mean, the good thing about Superman and Justice League is that, or at least in what we know as Justice League right now,
Mhm.
is that he isn't in it for like half the
Yeah,
movie.
it works. That's why there's not too much bad CGI. It's just because he's not in it.
Right.
Well, I mean that, and also like I think he said like there's not a single scene from that they do, not a single shot from the reshoots that Whedon did are in his cut of the movie.
Yeah, Snyder said he's only using stuff that he shot. He will not use a second of that he did not shoot.
You know,
He's
I'm
made that
gonna
very clear.
skip these two paragraphs because they're just about like his history, which we all know, like Legend of the Guardians, Man of Steel, Batman vs Superman, Dawn of Justice. Star wasn't just uh, Star wasn't just making big budget tentpoles. By the way, the word tentpole always threw me. I had no
Yeah,
idea what the hell it was. What'd you say?
Y-
I'm not a
Sounds
fan.
sexual. Sounds vaguely sexual.
The big budget tent poles that Snyder makes. He become the
Mhm.
architect of the
Yeah, because
entire
you never heard the saying pitching a tent?
picture. No, I
Yeah,
100% know
yeah.
where you're going.
Yeah,
Oh,
that's what
yeah.
I'm
Um,
No, I
saying.
made the connection.
Go on.
become the architect of the entire DC cinematic universe, and his casting choices continue to resonate. Chose Gal Gadot to play Wonder Woman, fantastic. And Batman vs
Oh,
Superman, and
I love
produced Patty Jenkins' standalone movie about the Amazonian princess. I remember Gal saying to me, Zach, I was going to quit the. Oh wow, Zach was going to
her.
quit the business. I was getting ready, to just move back to Tel Aviv, and just have a life there. I was done with Hollywood. I was going to do this one more audition,
That's crazy.
and she came in, and I was like, "That's my Wonder Woman." Now she's the whole world's. That's crazy.
That's dope.
I
I didn't
can't
know that.
see anyone else at this moment. At this moment,
No, she is, like, the perfect Wonder Woman. Like, of course, all the old actresses did a great job as well, but, like, I
yeah.
don't know, she's so strong, like, everything about her, like, her presence and everything, I
And
love her. I
and
wish I had her when I was a little girl to look up to.
that's what sucks about this whole situation unraveling the way it did, is that, like, I think realistically about half the cast of Justice League was perfect.
Mhm.
Like,
I'd say all of them, my opinion.
I
Yeah.
mean,
I know people
uh,
have differing opinions
I
about
mean,
Batman mainly, but
I think Batman's
Batman
perfect.
Batman and I personally don't like Ezra Miller as
yeah,
Flash.
he's probably my least favorite casting
Grant
choice.
Gustafson in the CW show is
Yeah,
far
he's
better,
really good, I agree with
and
that.
I don't know why they didn't try to patch everything together, but that's whatever.
That's a different
Like,
thing, yeah.
but like outside of Flash and Batman, I think everyone was perfect.
Mhm. Jason Momoa as Aquaman, I remember I first heard that, I was like, "What?" Because like, that's so not really what you picture, but, you picture the blonde guy, like, kinda make fun of
Well,
for
actually, that's what they're
Aquaman,
saying here.
and
Snyder
then
decided to
he's
forego the blonde hair and blue eyes in the
yeah,
comic book, and the hero favored
he was
dark locks
so
and
good at it.
smoky gaze of Jason Momoa. He's a Pacific
Oh,
Islander. That's a connection to the sea. What if he's
no,
Aquaman?
he had auditioned for Bruce Wayne, you skipped over that, that's the coolest part of that.
Oh
I didn't
wow,
know that.
I didn't realize. Yeah, I don't know how I
You
missed that.
skipped the coolest part of the paragraph.
Did come in and
You
audition
did
for
skip the
Bruce?
coolest part.
I can't see that
I didn't know.
personally. I don't. I
You
don't think
can?
that would. I
Or
don't think he would have been a good
no, I
Batman.
think Aquaman was the right choice. I think for sure. Zach made the right call there.
Everyone was like, "You're insane. That is not a thing." Hey, he's
I
talking
mean,
about.
honestly, it actually kinda makes sense, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
With Aquaman, Pacific Islanders very connected with the ocean, with their lore and everything, like, it makes more sense than a random blonde guy.
Yep. I'm gonna skip this as well. Upcoming Flash movie will connect all the disparate DC films. I don't know how to say that. By
Mm.
ricocheting through the multi universes with Michael Keaton's Batman appearing along with Affleck's.
Yeah, I'm intrigued for the Flash movie. I'm really disappointed that Ray won't be in it, but
Yeah, I mean we'll see how it
that's a
goes.
whole other thing.
But harsh reviews for Batman vs Superman demolished Warner Brothers' confidence in Snyder. Oh, you know what? I just realized
They cut out 30 minutes.
I'm gonna have to call out Austin here. He will have it is an obligation at GW and Co. that before you watch the Snyder Cut, you have to
Mm,
watch Batman vs Superman Ultimate Edition. I'm
yeah.
gonna need you to get on this.
Get
Um,
on.
Everyone who I've ever heard who doesn't like Batman vs Superman, once they watch the Ultimate Edition, likes it.
Not likes it,
Even
but I'll
my
say that
dad
they'll say it's
hated it.
better at the very least.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
true.
well, I would hope it's fucking better.
My
Yeah.
dad really hated Batman vs Superman, like, he thought it was just really stupid,
I
instead of
didn't.
the ultimate cut, and he said there's still some parts he thought was a little stupid, but he said it makes so much more sense.
I don't think it was ever I never say
He
it
We'll do
thought
a
was
the Martha
we'll do a
bad.
scene was
spoiler
stupid.
cast or something once the Snyder
Yeah.
Cut's over. So great.
We should do a whole little DCEU.
Oh Jesus.
Watch every single one.
It okay. So even the director's champions like production head Greg Silverman were worried when Batman vs Superman came out, and we did a negative reaction, and we did get a negative reaction from the fans. It was disheartening to all of us, says Silverman, now the founder and head of independent content company Stampede Ventures. Zach had made these movies like 300 that were such crowd pleasers, and that was our job to make crowd pleasers. And here we have made a movie together, and it didn't really please the audience. I'm gonna skip that part
Because you
because I feel
cut
like
30 minutes out. You cut out the most important 30 minutes.
this is gonna come out later, so I'm just gonna skip that.
Mm.
Marvel Studios, whose success exerted by some. I'm guessing this is just about like
The
Marvel
Marvel
putting
stuff.
pressure on DC for actually like making good movies, like making cohesive universe and stuff. Diane Nelson, who was the president of DC Entertainment at the time, says that she appreciated that Snyder was more into deconstructing the familiar than just recapitulating it. Zack is a masterful visual storyteller who goes deep into his individual characters. She says, for some people that is amazing, and for other people that becomes a problem because they have fixed opinions about these DC characters and who these DC characters are and are not. That is very true. I 100% agree with that. In 2016, as principal photography got underway to Justice League in the United Kingdom, rumors percolated that Snyder had been fired from the film. I didn't hear about this.
Mm.
That didn't happen,
I'm
but
sure
Warner
there's
Brothers,
rumors about it, yeah. That's
uh,
something that some person tweets and then someone
yeah,
retweets.
but Warner Brothers then chairman and CEO Kevin Tsujihara did assign Watch Dogs in the form of DC Entertainment creative. Oh my God! Oh, okay. Did assign Watch Dogs in the form of DC Entertainment creative chief Jeff Johns and Warner Brothers co-production head John Berg. The edit was clear. At least one of them had to be on set every day.
Wait, for the Justice League at the end of his thing?
No, this is during Justice League. This is the majority of Justice League. Like as principal
Oh my
photographer began. That's
ugh.
that's like being like,
Isn't Jeff the one that you don't like?
yeah.
That's
This is
like
like,
being babysat.
yeah,
Yeah,
that's
I would
perfect.
be
I couldn't find my
so
words.
upset.
That's exactly what that is. That would suck, dude.
Oh,
It's
like
like back in
every time you
college
try to set
if
up a
like
shot and they're probably
Like
like second
you
guessing
have
you and
that
shit.
literally shows you have zero confidence.
Oh,
no,
that would be so
even like
frustrating.
what's crazier to me, like I went, so obviously like Alexa and I went to film school, right? And when we were like shooting just projects for our class, our professors wouldn't join us because they don't want to have that pressure, right? Like they wanted you to do
If
it
you
yourself
ask them
type of
to
thing.
be there, they'd come.
Yeah,
It's like
but
you need
like
help with something or
this
something,
is
but
ridiculous. Like this is so. Oh
2
man.
paragraphs down, you see it says babysit.
Oh, does it?
Yeah. It
Berg,
says Snyder.
who's now president of Stampede, recalls the duty as a low point. It was really tricky and not a position that I loved, to be honest. He says it has. He says, I tried to be forthright about what I thought creatively. My job was to try to mandate between a creator whose vision is instinctively dark and a studio that perceived rightly or wrong that the fans wanted something lighter. I was
Was
respectful of the director and didn't pursue things that were coming at me from the corporate side that I thought weren't in line with what made him, what would make the movie the best. The movie the best. You get what I mean. Snyder knew why Johns and Berg were on the set. They could say babysit. You could say babysit, he says. Many filmmakers would have bristled at the intrusion, but he was gracious. It didn't bother me too much because they weren't that threatening. I just felt the ideas that they did have were where they were trying to inject humor and stuff like that. It wasn't anything that was too outrageous.
That's good.
This is a
At
pretty
least
cool
that's
photo of Batman.
yeah, both those
And
pictures.
Yeah.
So, ugh,
but
need
Warner
to get
Brothers
her
did
out of Aquaman too.
But Warner Brothers did nix some of his more sweeping notions for Justice League, like adding a romance. Whoa, a romance between Ben Affleck's Bruce Wayne
What?
and Amy Adams' Lois Lane. Okay, let me read this. Okay.
Oh, you didn't hear about this?
No, I did not.
Oh, this came out a couple
Wait,
last
who
week.
wanted this?
Well, I think it was
Snyder
from this
Cut?
probably, right? Like this came out a few days. So
Oh,
okay, so but
okay.
Warner
I don't
Brothers
know
did
this.
nix some of his more sweeping notions for Justice League, like adding a romance between Ben Affleck's Bruce Wayne and Amy Adams' Lois Lane, who was mourning Superman's death in the previous film.
So my only I haven't
Well,
read
let me
this,
read
but
this because I think he's gonna explain
okay.
why, and then we can. Um, the intention was that Bruce fell in love with Lois, and then realized the only way to save the world was to bring Superman back to life," said Snyder. So he had the insane conflict because Lois, of course, was still in love with Superman. We had this beautiful speech where Bruce said to Alfred, "I never had a life outside this cave. I never imagined a world for me beyond this. But this woman makes me think that if I can get this group of gods together, then my job is done. I can quit. I can stop." And of course, that doesn't work out for him. What were you saying, Austin? That's crazy. I did not hear about this.
Yeah, so I mean, like I said, I didn't read any of this or really read anything about like the situation, but I can only imagine because it would have played onto that whole thing that Superman and Batman don't really like each other in Justice
Yeah, for
League.
Mhm.
sure. And
So
Yeah.
this would take
honestly,
a
And
like
whole
more of
another
a
step
reason.
further.
reading this first
Yeah.
sentence, right? Like I was like, what the hell?
Yeah, I
What?
was like,
But then I can kind of understand with this conflict that he's trying to create here, with like,
yeah, that would be really emotional to watch. Like, it'd be a cool journey to see
especially
Batman.
because I think this Batman in this universe is so old and beaten
Mhm.
that it's almost like it's almost like you can.
He's looking for a reason to hang up the cow,
Yeah,
the cape and
exactly.
cow.
And
Mhm.
it's got so I would liken it to like in the end at the end of Dark Knight Rises, where he has this thing with Catwoman, but instead of having a happy ending, he has to then let her go,
Mhm.
to like for some other reason, like that kind of thing. So
Mhm.
it's like you almost get that happy ending for Batman finally, and then
Also, I'm gonna have to go in 15 minutes.
okay, we'll go through.
Just an FYI. You guys can keep going.
It didn't work out for Snyder either. The studio said no. The downside of this, among the issues with the length of the film, yeah, we knew about this. The fact that it was going to be, um, the film had to be
Crazy
2 hours
long.
long. No, the theatrical cut, they said that they couldn't be longer than 2 hours. That's why
Mhm.
the Joss Whedon cut of the movie is 2 hours and 1 minute.
That's so restrictive.
That order was a paradoxical impact because it meant eliminating much of the heart and humor the studio also wanted, like a comical romantic subplot between Ezra Miller's Flash and Christy Clemens' Iris, the latter of whom was absent entirely from the Whedon cut.
I was about to say I don't remember someone named Iris.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's his future wife, Iris West.
Ooh.
Yep.
I don't know much about Flash's story.
Reports that Snyder himself asked, or that Whedon for help was false. Johns, one of the studio appointed babysitters. That's what I want my position. What do you do
Studio
here?
appointed
I'm a studio
babysitter.
appointed babysitter. Have been planning a Batgirl movie with Whedon that Snyder and others say that Johns recruited him to do rewrites for the Justice League. Huh. Johns,
Is Batgirl still happening or is that gone?
no, he left. Maybe it's happening, but he's gone.
Yeah,
I know
good. I
that
want him gone.
I think someone was just casted for Batgirl. I could be thinking of animated.
That's from the show, though.
Okay.
Mm.
Oh
Yeah,
yes,
you just
the
got
show
Supergirl.
just recast it
Uh
because
huh.
they got a black woman, right?
Yes.
They completely recast it and like went
Yeah.
completely different.
Mm-hmm. Johns
Or no, that's
didn't.
What was
Batwoman.
that Supergirl casting for? Was that for a movie or for a show?
That's what I was thinking of.
That's for the
They got a
Flash.
Latin
Yeah,
Supergirl.
Latino
That's what it
woman.
was.
Yeah, that's for the Flash movie.
That's what I
Oh,
was thinking of.
nice.
Once again, Snyder was gracious and even hopeful. I thought that maybe he would write some cool scenes. I thought that would be fun. Soon it became clear that Warner Brothers was giving Whedon more and more power. He would not just advise during reshoots, but also do some directing himself. What?
Mm.
Snyder says he only had one conversation with Whedon about the studio's notes, reeling from Autumn's death and finding anguish in their work together. Finding anguish in their work rather than relief. Zack and Deborah quit. We just lost the will to fight that fight in a lot of ways, says Zach. All of us, the whole family, were just so broken by losing Autumn that having these conversations in the middle of it really became like, really? Frankly, I think I did the right thing because I think I would have been either incredibly belligerent or we just rolled over.
Yeah, that's fair. I mean, they're like pushing him almost, like slowly. Like first here's a babysitter, now here's this guy to help write a few scenes. Oh wait, he's gonna shoot scenes. Like
Yep.
seems like they're just slowly pushing him.
And I remember I was in a movie theater. Coincidentally enough, Ray Fisher said in the set of Snyder's last fall, I was I was walking into AMC right in Times Square, and I got the call from Zach that he was saying he had to deal with stuff with the fam, and he was having to step away. I had a trillion questions. My heart sank.
Yeah. Poor Ray,
Uh,
his career's over before it even started
hey,
because
we
of
never
all
know.
this.
We didn't rewrote and reshot three quarters of Justice League, from what Snyder can gather. Well, fans say ask him about the deals of the movie. There's his name. He usually has no idea what they're talking about. Yeah, I've seen this. Like people ask him like,
Yeah,
"Oh,
I've
was
seen
this in your movie?" And just like, "What? Like, what are you talking about?"
what? Yeah. It's wild. I've
And
seen
they
a
talk a
few like
little bit
red
about the mustache thing. I think right here. Uh, from the time we left, it was not a great year. We did a lot of stuff with family. It was really an important year. That year that year together became two. Oh, I see. Um, After grieving Autumn and starting to heal with his family, he began to work on Army of the Dead, a viscerally funny and exceedingly dark smash and grab story about an elite strike team that goes into a zombie overrun
I'm
Las
excited for
Vegas.
that movie.
Yeah, it looks pretty
Yeah, it looks fun.
fun.
Mhm. Teaser was fun. Great.
I'm just gonna skip this because this is about Army of the Dead, and
Yeah, that's not what we're here to talk about.
yeah,
What Snyder Cut.
at time of sto- at a time of stories of abusive creators, Snyder is an anomaly. Even the executives who were sometimes odds with him agree that he's genuinely nice. I'd be stronger than that, said Silverman. He's he's a wonderful guy and fostered a wonderful working environment. The sets. He really valued his crew. He valued his cast. I've heard the exact same thing. I've heard nothing
Yeah,
but
I've
good things.
only heard good things about working with him from like actors and crew people and such.
Snyder's Snyder's movies tend to be about strength and what comes to wield it, but maybe it was inevitable that he'd actually eventually not only join hashtag rise to the right release Snyder Cut bandwagon, but began driving it.
Mhm.
Oh, when Snyder left Warner Brothers, he took his laptop, which was emblazoned with the Justice League sticker. Hard drive was his original, nearly 4-hour version. It was devoid of visual effects, music, and all the fine tuning that would make a movie. It was also in black and white. To him, it was a memento. He thought we could just show it to random people who stop by, like our friends or whatever. It's a nice memento. You know, how people like take, oh, I
Yeah.
took the Thor's
Hey,
hammer.
hey, I know that you are just like stopping by to say hi, but like I have this 4-hour movie if you'd like to
Yeah.
come sit down and
Wanna
watch
hang
it.
Hey, thanks for
out?
dropping off this
It
pizza, man. Here's a
yeah,
$20 tip. I got a movie.
there's no visual effects, so just when you see a guy just running around screaming like an idiot, just imagine that's Dark
Too
Side for me,
green.
please.
There's like a tennis ball thrown across, like that's a monster.
That's what it is. Rather than fade away. I'm like trying to not. All right, Anonymous followers thought though didn't just advocate for the film; they also used social media to attack people who were critical of Snyder or their cause. Maybe they helped to silence dissenters, or maybe they were just trolls being trolls. In any case, film journalists with negative takes reported getting swarmed with insults and even threats. Unfortunately, I think a lot of online fandom and fandom culture is ended with in this very toxic direction, says Kayla Donaldson, who writes for the, I don't know how to say that. It's a website. It is
Thejiva.com.
is especially strong from Snyder Cut advocates, who she adds, perhaps because they were responded misguidedly to the director's tales of loner heroes in a hostile world. I think this is digging way too deep. Oh, it's clearly like this
Yeah,
a
I think
psychological problem.
so.
Like I mentioned this in my article when I wrote about back in 2019 that like obviously there's some bad eggs in this like group, like, you know, every group is going to have, like, there's toxic Nintendo fans, as family friendly as Nintendo is. There's toxic Animal Crossing fans, as wholesome as Animal Crossing is. Uh,
Yeah, with how big the internet is, how everyone can be
yeah,
involved, there's like toxicity
but
everywhere,
like,
which sucks,
like
but is what it is.
like they've donated. I think it's like the sum of like $500,000 to charities, for the Snyder Cut movement. I feel like that's like saying, oh, they're clearly just attaching to this idea that the lone hero. Like, I feel like that's like a little um sweeping word. Oh, they bring in a clinical psychologist who explores superhero archetypes in the Arkham Sessions podcast. Notes that fans get especially aggressive on social media when they feel that they've been denied something. Well, yeah, I feel like that's the whole movement, was been being denied something.
And that's because people, yeah, they get mad when they can't have something.
Yeah, fighting for the
Very
unconscious
human trait that a lot of
became a
people
cause.
have.
Is
Very
employed as the worst
human.
behavior metastasized. What fantastical words were you? My
Yeah,
vocabulary has gone up 30 fold.
very.
I love
In
how you
November,
were like, I'm not going to read this whole thing. And then
Me too.
90% of the way done.
yeah, we're almost there. Yeah, we're almost done.
I think we should
Almost.
finish about whenever I have to go. If we just go
Yep.
fast.
November 19th. This is when the article that I wrote came out, because this is when it was trending. A few days later, Toby Emmerich, chairman of Warner Brothers Picture Group, called Snyder with an offer. Let's try again. Hey, let's try again. Babe, I know this hasn't been working out, babe, but like, let's try again. Give you a few $1,000,000, you can do what you want. Um, all good relationships come back. A lot of the people of the company, myself included, always felt badly that Zach didn't get to finish his vision of this film because of the circumstances, says Emmerich. And so, if there's a way to make it logistically and financially possible, which HBO Max did, and Zach had a willingness to do it, it seemed like a win for everybody. Also, cool photo.
Yeah, they're like, oh, we don't have to pay him? Sure.
I love how he's just taking the photo himself. Yeah.
Yeah.
Initially, says Snyder, Warner Brothers just wanted to release the raw footage on his laptop. I was like, that's a no. That's a hard no, he said.
Oh my
And they're
god.
like, but why? You can just put out the rough cut. Snyder didn't trust their motives. I go, here's why. 3 reasons. 1, get the internet off your back, which is probably your main reason for wanting to do this. 2, you get to feel vindicated for making things right, I guess on some level. And then 3, you get a shitty version of the movie that you can point to and go, see, it's not that good anyway, so maybe I was right. I was like, no
Yeah.
chance. I would rather have the Snyder Cut be a mythical unicorn for all time. That's
Yeah, that's
totally,
fair.
yeah.
I wouldn't that I can't even believe they would ask that.
I can
Like,
tell you that the build up or like the hype around the Snyder Cut is probably going to be substantially better than the actual Snyder Cut because
oh yeah.
people were like, this was supposed to be the greatest thing ever to ever
Yeah.
happen to
I mean,
No,
superheroes.
I'm going in expecting it to be a good movie. I'm going in with expectations at the same level of Man of Steel and Batman vs Superman. You know what I mean? How I
I
feel
said
about
this
those.
on stream because I've been asked when I without you. I don't think you guys were there because I was streaming by myself at that time. Like last or 2 weeks ago, and I was playing with the order, and someone asked me like, "Hey, so what do you think about the Snyder Cut?" And I said like, not everyone's gonna like it. That's straight
Mhm.
up. Like, if you
Oh, for
think
sure. It's gonna
this is
be
like the
controversial.
best movie ever made, it's not gonna be that. But at the end of the day, it's something that like you can finally see an arc be completed. It's like, imagine you read. I'm not gonna. It's gonna be a weird comparison. I'm definitely gonna get shit for it. But like, imagine you read Harry Potter, right? You got to the last book and they took away, like, they got someone else to rewrite half the book, and then you never get to see how it actually was supposed to end. Like, this is finally being able to get that last book.
It's like The Cursed Child.
Yeah, let's try not to mention that. Snyder estimates that it cost around $70 million to undo Whedon. Wow, cost around $70 million to undo Whedon's redo. For that, HBO Max gets 4 hours of a hotly anticipated programming and the Hollywood comeback story of a lifetime. Snyder himself gets nothing. I'm not getting paid, he says. Oh, that's what we're talking about. He was paid the first time, of course. This time, he wants creative control, and foregoing a fee helped. I didn't want to be beholden to anyone, and it allowed me to keep my negotiating powers with these people pretty strong.
That's fair. It's like you're not
Oh,
paying me
there it is.
anything.
There's the end.
Oh,
Fisher was, for one, was very eager. That's not a day that's gone by for the last 3 years that I haven't thought about this movie, that I have not sat up at night thinking, what if there was a world wherein this thing actually does get released as the actor sitting on set in his grayscale motion capture suit. I probably would. So that was from the end of last year when they were doing reshoots for the Snyder Cut. I probably should have let it go, but there was so much that we left behind in this version. In this version of the film, a completely different movie. As for fan base, the Snyder Cut movement has distributed $500,000. Oh, there it is. Oh, here it is. American Foundation for Suicide Prevention (AFS) through donations, sales of merchandise, and acquisition of props. People have been saying, "Oh, they attack people," says Deborah Snyder.
Auctions of props, by the way.
I say actions.
You said like I don't know what you said, but you didn't say auctions.
Oh, well, auctions of props. Uh, oh, they attack people, says Deborah Snyder, her eyes tearing. But his fan base had saved lives. As much as they wanted something for themselves, come together for an amazing cause. So you feel so helpless trying to help someone, and you don't know what to do. It's literally a life or death, and I felt that we didn't really know where to turn. Rebuilding the story he'd always envisioned is what invigorates Snyder most. He can go deep and dark as he likes. He can say hell with DC's official timeline for the characters, and let his alt version of the Justice League story wind up where he pleases. He has put Superman in a sleek black suit, suited instead of the iconic red and blue and red. He's added the Joker, Jared Leto. He has reshot the ending with a hero cameo that will blow hardcore fans' minds. Whoa,
Ooh.
whoa!
They're thinking it's gonna be Green Lantern.
I
Oh,
can see that
probably.
because he
But
was supposed to be in Batman vs Superman.
but people were saying it's Ryan Reynolds, but Ryan Reynolds says no, it's not me.
No.
He said, and I quote, "I leave that suit in my drawer. Actually, I mean the computer." So I'm stupid like
Yeah.
that.
Nice.
In
Sounds like a Reynolds tweet.
what many in what may be a divisive move, he's also presenting the movie in the boxy 4:3 format rather than the widescreen, so that one day it can be watched on IMAX screens. Oh, there it is. I would love to watch it in IMAX.
Next.
Some people may be irritated by seeing Justice League on HBO Max with black bars on either side. Snyder is in trouble by that. The director
Yeah.
is also layering in some deep personal elements. The movie closes with Leonard Cohen's Hallelujah, performed by Alison Crowe, a friend who also sang it at Autumn's funeral. It was Autumn's favorite song. Now it's an elegy to her. Justice League, however anyone else feels about it, it was made of the things and people Snyder loves too. When you think about the catharsis of it, if I was a potter, I would have made some pottery to look some way through this, he says. But I'm a filmmaker, so you get this giant movie. He wants people to love it. Some don't. He says he's alright with that. With all of it. Whatever comes, he's okay. What is my worth? What am I supposed to do? What am I about? Zack Snyder is answering Autumn's questions for himself.
Well written article.
Yeah,
Wow.
pretty good.
Well,
Alright,
that was a lot, but
It was.
It was a lot.
So
You
you guys
read that for about
back it up
45
for a
minutes.
bit if you want, but I gotta go.
about.
I do have a lot to say, but yeah.
Well, I mean, here's the thing. Well, we're definitely gonna have another spoiler cast when
Oh, we're gonna
Snyder
talk
Cut
so
comes
much
out.
about this when it
We're gonna
comes out.
talk about it. But yeah, this was like, I didn't realize how much like emotion was tied into this. Like
Mhm.
I knew some of the stuff. You can obviously read what I thought or what I knew about, like in the article that I wrote. But there's like so much more to this than like, I feel like there's a documentary here. You know? I mean, I feel like there's like something here like you could really kind of put in. But I'm glad this person did a fantastic. This is
Yeah,
great,
it's a really good article.
really good article. And I purposefully did not read all of it so that you could go back and read it for yourself, because I think it's
Yeah.
go give them
You
some
have
click.
this on YouTube?
Vanity Fair, they're a really indie website. I think you should really give them some.
Yeah, yeah.
But yeah, I don't have much else to say about it. I feel like I'm gonna share my thoughts as I went.
Hmm.
I feel like this is just I don't know. I'm very excited for it. Obviously, I've been a fan of Batman or Superman, as many people have said. I'm wrong with, so
You're too much of a fan.
I don't know if
I
that's the
like
thing.
it a lot. I saw the Ultimate Edition first. I never
Yeah,
saw the theatrical cut, so that helped.
we're gonna tie Austin
I've
to a
saw
chair.
I've seen all of these movies in theaters.
Mm,
Same.
makes sense.
I want to tie
All right.
Austin to a chair and
Yeah.
make sure he watches. You can go, by
I
the way.
I own it. I own it. I'll watch it whenever. I'll probably watch it before this.
All right, all right. He said it here first. You heard it here first. Let's see if it happens. Anyway, that is it for now. Probably we'll probably be live again in like a little bit. I don't know. Who knows? Well, the plans get shifted, but we're gonna try to be live soon again to kind of hang out, play some games. We haven't played some games today. It's like the longest stream that we haven't done any game
Yeah.
related.
I haven't played anything. Like I've been nonstop work since I got up.
Same here. So we're gonna do that. We're gonna have some fun. But thanks so much for watching. If you're watching this on YouTube, because I feel like this. Happy birthday, and thanks for watching.
Happy birthday.
Yeah, I figured it'd be someone's birthday. You know,
Fair enough.
I mean, I'd hit some people, and they'd be like, "Whoa, this is so."
You gotta
knew
get
me.
more specific. Be like, "Happy birthday, John," and then be like, "Oh shit, he knew it was my birthday."
Yeah, and then they're gonna subscribe. It was that money. Anyway, thanks for watching, guys. We'll see you next time. Peace.
Bye.